Alright. Welcome back to Super Sentai Review, episode number 119. This one I'm starting up a brand new Super Sentai. I did mention it last time, so here it is. If I can get to the right thing here. Come on, thank you. Yes, this is pretty much the... At the time this one aired, this one was considered to be the 13th Super Sentai. Before our Ranger retconned it, it was actually the 15th Super Sentai. You're thinking, 15? How the heck is that possible? Yeah. So, in the case of the first two, we're discussing here the first two episodes, which is Seek the Warriors and The Third Warrior. Why the first two episodes? Because it's what I got done. Also, because, here's the thing. The opening story arc, basically, now, normally when they have these simply teams, usually done with like the first episode, a lot of ones I've seen. This is the first time I've seen in quite a while where the assembly of the team takes more than one episode. Yes, also, this is the first one I've seen since Live Man, where yellow and blue basically, where they swap genders. Yeah. These are the Jetman. Yep. Though, not all five of them appear in the very first episode. Nope, the first three that stood up in the episode is red, white, and yellow. Yep, they are the only ones. And their names are, red is Ryu Tendo. And this is the first episode. We have Rata Okasagi, he's basically a vegetable farmer. Ryu is a Air Force pilot who basically was recruited into the Sky Base program, which later became which also was part of the Jetman program. We also have Corey Ramakine. She is get this, she's an heiress, a rich heiress. And the way she acts is kind of weird. It's almost like the way she acts, it's like, she apparently never went outside of her home. It's like basically the way she acts is like it's like the 1920s or something. It's weird. Oh yeah, and she can easily pay people off by her gigantic paycheck or giant checkbook. Yeah. Now the thing starts off basically mentioning that seeing Ryu and his then girlfriend at the time, Ray, which they actually don't really Ray Oti. Yep. And they're basically saving a couple from fire. They're saving a family from fire, and they're trying to hide the fact of their relationship. And then all of a sudden, they're recruited by Commander. What's her name? Aya Okadori. Yes, and she is the mentor of the team. And basically, that you have Ray being chosen as one of the members of Jetman, along with Ryu. So they're taking up to this Earth ship. Yes, an Earth spaceship, which is destroyed in the same episode. Yeah, I'm not kidding about that. They destroyed this damn thing in the opening episode. So they get up there. They put Ryu under this device to give him bird powers. That's not a joke. They give him freaking bird powers. And his code name is the Red Hawk. Yep, so he gets transformed. He gets basically a little painful. Ryu tries to stop, but of course, the commander stop. Don't worry, it's be fine. And he basically goes, he's perfectly fine. It was a life experience, no problem. And then the villains of the series show up, the Vyrum. They're like, ha, you people are idiots. We hate you. We're gonna kill you all and take over your world. By the way, the first person who actually shows up from the Vyrum, they're basically Dimension War Party Vyrum. There's technically no leader at this point in time. Nope, but these are your members, basically. By the way, the commander is this woman here. I gotta say, very beautiful woman. Surprised no one fell for her. From what I read about it. Yeah, she's also the first female mentor ever in the history of Super Sentai. Yeah, this is basically your main, one of the villains. This is Black Back Dimension Count Ragged. That's what he looks like. Yeah, it looks kind of weird with him looking like that. Mm-hmm. We also have Tran, a little kid. Yep. He doesn't do anything in the first couple episodes. They were introduced to Maria, and there's something mysterious about her. They don't explain what the deal with her is. Despite the fact she looks like Ray, they don't really explain anything about this until later on. And we also have Gray, who is basically a robot bodyguard. And your foot soldiers. Yes, these things. Yeah, and the way these things are come about is that the black dimension count just uses his fingers and just drips stuff off his fingers and just basically births these damn things. Yes, he seriously does. And there was massive attacks. He also introduces the very first monster of the series. Oh yes. Who, by the way, one of those rare occasions where the monster is not defeated the same. This is Dimensional Bug Mother. Yes, so the first creature they fight is a frickin' bug. Yes, this disgusting thing. Though, they actually don't defeat the first episode. Oh no. They also fight this disgusting abomination. Well, actually, better design. Fighter Dimension, which is input. Yeah, how this thing was created was that the count just basically threw a spider, one of his spiders, at a fighter to command, basically piloted by the commander, and it transformed the monster. Yep. So, basically, they go out searching for the other Jetman, and of course, by the way, the ship is destroyed. Though the device, basically, the power from it, the different people, the Birdman, gets randomly sent to 5 people. Yes. So, basically, the commander and Ryu had to go out and recruit these 4 people in order to form the Jetman. So, the first person to come across is Corey, the heiress. And she basically is not against it, per se. It's not like, no, but she joins them anyways, no problem. And so, then, of course, they meet up with the yellow. Yeah, then they meet up with Ritia, where he is a vessel farmer, and basically Corey has to basically convince him to join up, and then of course they try to spend Ryu and the commander try to spend their time finding the air tube, which they get interrupted, so they drive back to Skybase just so Ryu can pilot his Zord. Yep. And you're thinking, really? That's what he does? Oh yeah, he basically goes back as Jet Striker. Which, this is quite strange. This thing makes... That's not this one here. It's, This is Jet Hawk. Mm-hmm. Which... This actually is the only one to actually do anything in these episodes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, one's will make debuts a little bit later. Mm-hmm. Which design-wise looks a lot like the thing that basically this particular season reminds me a little bit of Live Man. The only difference is the team was recruited the very first episode, but the design of the Zords basically is very similar. So basically, then they had transformation, which is basically the cross changer, and their morphers. They look like this. Yep, that's their morpher. Like, okay, pretty simple design. Yep. And they also got a communicator. They also got a couple sidearms, the Bird Blaster and the Bringer Sword. Mm-hmm. Yep, so basically Ryu ends up saving the other two who apparently have no experience at all being Rangers at all. He, of course, has no problem using the weapons because he's military. So they take out the grunts. He takes the grunt pretty easily. They try to battle the Dimension Bug, but he gets away. And the very next episode, we're basically seeing, even though we kind of saw in the last episode, they were trying to recruit the other two people who were hit by the beam, which are Guy and Anko. Rai basically was recruited by Ryu and the commander. They basically, well, first you see him at the casino, where he's a playboy, where you see him where he's just playing cards, wins, but hands the money off to the woman. But a good time with her. Then he beats up a security guard for basically trying to take his money from him because he thinks he was cheating, even though he actually was. He gets away from the woman because basically I think the woman wants to be with a guy who basically is that powerful. Then you see him opening that bar. And of course, Ryu and me, and of course they chat, hey, you're a Jetman. He's like, nah. Like, of course they chat. And of course they have a brief fight in the car garage, and you see the commander just folding arms like, really? We're doing this now? Yeah, then of course, and after they get into a fight, and of course they are called away because of what's going on with Corey and Ritu. Now, they of course find Aikyo really easily. You see her basically at the she's basically a high school student, basically the youngest member of the team, where she basically is good at, well, jumping over a pole. And you have really high, and, well, then she's recruited immediately on the spot, and she wants money, basically, for participating for Jetman. She wants, like, 1,500 yen. Corey's like, okay. Brings out a checkbook, writes a check out, and it's 10 million yen. And then, of course, by the end of the episode, she returns the check because, basically, she doesn't necessarily need money to save the world. But I'm sure she'll get paid anyways, given the fact that Jetman is supported by the Japanese government. I'm sure of it, because that's typically how Sentai works. Basically, if you're basically a Sentai team who works for Japan, who basically is operated by a Japanese government agency, you get paid via government salary. I'm sure she probably will. And then we see him finally transform for the first time. And, of course, Guy's there, of course, reluctantly. He's like, don't order me around. And eventually they destroy both monsters pretty easily with their blasters without summoning their Megazord. You're thinking, where's the Megazord? Because normally when you do these reviews, usually the Megazord shows up like in the first episode, at least by episode 5, like it was in Bad for J. Nope. From what I've read, the Megazord does not show up to episode 6. So we got a little while, not very long per se, but it's weird though. I'm doing a Sentai review where the Zord that's popped up in the very first episode. So you were thinking, did Live Man not have the Zord, the Megazord pop up in the first episode? Yes, but at least they show all the Zords, not just one Zord in action. Yep. But really good start for Jetman. I'm going to be enjoying this one. Because basically this was... Now, the reason why I picked this one next after I finished watching Bioman, because this was the last Sentai that aired before Power Rangers ever did. Before they started adapting Sentai Power Rangers. And also, here's a fun fact for you. This is the only non-adapted Super Sentai that was released here via Shot Factory. Yeah, this is the only one. And it's kind of weird, though, it's like that. Where... Like, you have from Kaku Ranger to Hurricane Ranger, which all these were adapted Power Rangers. And yet, only Jetman, the only non-adapted Super Sentai, and yet that gets released over here by Chef Factory, but not the others. Not the first 14, not Go Ranger, Jock, or any other ones, just Jetman. Not sure why, and here's the strange thing, though. The last one officially released, over here anyways, was actually Hurricane Ranger. Oh yeah, Hurricane Ranger was the last known Sentai release over here via Chef Factory. Now, as far as I can tell, the one that came after this one, which is Aba Ranger, this one was adapted for Dino Thunder, has not been released over here. I don't know why. It's weird. As far as I know, there has not really been an explained reason for this, but Yeah, for some reason, it's like basically like. Let's see. This one is the 13th, and Hurricaneger is the 26th, actually 15th. So they've technically released only like about a dozen of these over here. Why in the world they haven't released any more? Unknown the reason for that. Yeah, it's unknown why they only released 12. It's like they started with Zoo Ranger, and they did Die Ranger, Kaka Ranger, O Ranger, Car Ranger, Mega Ranger, and then they decided to do Jetman right after the Time Ranger before they did Gal Ranger. And the last one officially released was only about 3 years ago. Yeah, why in the world Chef Factory is not released anymore since then? Don't know. It's kind of weird. Yeah, I personally would love it to see if basically other let's just say if other Sentai were basically um if they were translated over here. I mean, I personally would love to see some of the 80s ones. I would love that so much. Oh yeah, definitely. I would love to see basically the 80s shows basically released over here. Stuff like Bioman. You could put on there the show that inspired Power Rangers. They could do that, but who the heck freaking knows? Okay, so yeah, that's gonna be pretty much it for Cyclo Review. Stay tuned later for more Super Sentai and a Comic Corner. Okay, next video. Bye.